You might think making this sword is hard, but it's not. Because I traveled across the Blenderverse for the last couple of weeks and found the best techniques and tools to create any sword without wasting time. To prove this, I will go through Pinterest and find any sword reference which seems hard to make. Link in the description, and now let's jump into Blender. Down here, you can see the keyboard shortcuts I am using. Firstly, delete the default cube, then drag and drop the reference image. Enable opacity, then rotate the reference image and move it to the center of the viewport. Move the image backwards to get enough space. Back to front view, add a plane and rotate it to 90 degrees. Scale up the plane to fit the base of the blade. In edit mode, adjust the plane size. Now I'm going to show you a tool a lot of people don't know about. Press F3 and search Extend Vertices. Then remember its shortcut. Select a vertex and use that shortcut to trace the rest of the blade. Move this vertex to fit the base of the blade. And then keep on using the same shortcut to fill the other side of the blade. Make sure your cursor's position matches the next direction towards which you want to trace. If you get overlapping vertices, add a vertex at the middle and move it upwards to ensure the new vertices don't overlap. Press Alt-Z to clearly see the reference, and then you can continue tracing the blade's shape. Alt-Z once more to go back to solid view. Keep on completing the blade's shape. After completing the blade, if you select a face and press I to insert, you get these weird faces. Same if you try to extrude and scale down. That's why we're going to use this add-on called Safe Inset to make correct insets every time. After downloading the add-on, go to Edit, Preferences, and install the add-on. Then select the face, right-click, and at the bottom, select Safe Inset. Now you can see this makes a correct inset, and you can change the inset size as you want. Next, move that face outwards, and then add a mirror modifier on the opposite axis. Then apply the modifier, and the blade is complete. You can enable cavity to see the edges clearly. Right-click, then select Shade Auto Smooth. To fix this shading issue, go to the Normals options, then increase the value of the Auto Smooth property. Now, let's move on to the crossguard. Add a plane and rotate it. Then move it to fit anywhere in the crossguard. In Edit mode, adjust the vertices. Then use Alt-D to trace the rest of the shape. You can switch to transparent mode to clearly see the reference. Next, select the face and move it away from the blade. Then extrude it on the Y-axis. Select the faces below the blade. Inset with I and extrude upwards. Then adjust the edges. Move this edge upwards. Then right-click and Shade Auto Smooth. And the crossguard is done. For the handle, select this edge at the bottom of the crossguard. Then with Shift-S, click on Cursor to select it. Now you can add a circle at the cursor's position and reduce its vertices. Scale down the circle and adjust its shape and size. Move it upwards. Then use E to extrude downwards. Keep on extruding the edges downwards and scale them to fit the reference. Press F to fill the face, then right-click and Shade Auto Smooth. Next, select this bottom face and insert with I. Then extrude it downwards and adjust its position. Press Ctrl R to add loop cuts. Then select the middle loop cut and use proportional editing to match the reference. Select the bottom edge loop and extrude downwards. Then rotate it to match the reference. In face selection mode, select this face loop with Alt-click, then press Alt-E and select Extrude along normals. Select this bottom face and cursor to select it. Now, add a cylinder of 20 vertices. Adjust its size and rotate it to match the reference. Then scale it down. Next, select this other face, set the cursor, and add a torus. Then reduce the number of segments. Adjust its scale and rotate it to the correct size. Then right-click and Shade Smooth. To fix this shading issue, select the edge loops and bevel with Ctrl-B. Do the same up here. And the sword's mesh is now complete. Before we texture this sword, you can get 90% discount on courses and assets on Blender, Unity, Unreal, and Godot. Like this bundle for action games, which has 4 courses, originally more than $200, but now you can get all of them for just $39. Or, if you prefer Unity or Godot, there are also bundles at 90% discount for each of them. Now, to texture this sword, head over to the UV editing window, select all the parts of the sword and join with Ctrl-J. In edit mode, select all, then press U. If you use Smart UV Project, you get the UV quickly, but it's not that great. So, go to Front View, select only the blade and press U, then Project from View. Then, adjust the blade's UVs. Ctrl-I to invert selection, and now you can use Smart UV for the rest of the sword. Make sure to select these UVs and adjust them so they don't overlap with the blade's UV. Now, move back to the Layout window and make sure you've installed the add-in Yuki Paint. Link in the description. Select the sword, press N, and create a quick Yuki Paint node setup. Now, move to Texture Painting mode and change this panel to an image editor. Select your reference image, then slide and uncheck this to hide the UV. You can also check this to pin the window. Let's start with the blade. Add a new image layer. Give it a name and a resolution. Then with the Paint Bucket tool selected, use the eyedropper to pick a color from the reference. In edit mode, select the only parts you want to paint on, then back to paint mode. Check this icon to mask out the rest. Now, if you click, only the selected area is affected. The same happened behind because of the way we overlapped the blade's UVs. Next, create another image layer and pick the other color on the blade. Then in edit mode, use Alt-click to select only this face loop. Back to paint mode, enable the mask, and click to apply the color only to the selected faces. And that is the blade's base color. To draw this red details, first go to this tab and create a new palette. Then save the current color. Now switch to the brush and select the save color. You can also click on preview mode to pick the raw colors you already used. To avoid drawing on other parts of the sword, select this face in edit mode and enable the mask. You can also enable stabilize stroke for smoother strokes. Then draw those curved details as you can. Now let's move to the crossguard. Add a new image layer. Then select the Paint Bucket tool and the faces you want to affect in edit mode. Then pick the base color from the reference and adjust it if needed. Apply the color to the selected faces, and if you get these white lines, click again to extend the color. Don't forget to save that color in the palette. We can also paint these extrusions directly on a normal map. Add a layer and enable 32-bit for better precision. Select the Brush tool and under channels, enable Bump and increase the value. Disable color to affect only the normal map. Mask out unwanted parts and draw to see the effect it does. You can also negate the value to reverse the effect and also enable symmetry to reflect on the other side. Mask out all the unwanted parts, then paint the extrusions as you want, or as you see in your reference. Next, select the other part of the crossguard and enable the mask. Press Alt-E to select line strokes and paint the extrusions. And that's it for the crossguard. Now, for the handle, add a new image layer. In edit mode, select only the top of the handle, then enable the mask. Use the bucket tool and pick a color from the reference, then apply it. Now, I noticed that nothing happens when I draw on the handle, but not when I draw on the blade because the faces were inversed when I checked the orientation. So I selected all in edit mode and press Shift-in to fix the faces. Now, if you want the strokes to go through what's visible, go to the settings and disable these two options. Or add them to quick favorites and use Q to disable them. Now, when you paint, it goes through, but not completely. To fix this, disable normal fall off, and that's it. You can then paint any pattern you want. For the other part of the handle, select the bucket tool and pick a color from the reference. Then, in edit mode, select the corresponding faces only, then enable the mask and create a new layer. Apply the color on the layer. Select a darker color and use the line strokes to draw the pattern you want. Let's just give this bottom part a golden color. Create a new layer, then in edit mode, select the corresponding faces and enable the mask. Apply a yellow color, but to make it really look like gold, click on Channels and enable Metallic and Roughness. Change each of the to custom value to fully control the properties on that layer only. And the sword is done. The last step is to bake all these layers into one texture. For that, click on this gear icon, then bake all channels. Set samples to 5 or higher, then press OK to bake. A few seconds later, the textures are baked, but if you move to the shading window, all you see is this Yuki Paint node. So go back to Layout and click on this node icon. And back to the shading tab. You have all the baked textures connected correctly and ready to use. Don't forget to get 90% discount on courses and assets on Blender, Unity, Unreal, and Godot. Like this bundle for action games, which has 4 courses, originally more than $200, but now you can get all of them for just $39. Or if you prefer Unity or Godot, there are also bundles at 90% discount for each of them. And I will see you next time.